Alright guys, I'm coming in now. Is it working? Hey! Hi! So, as some of you already know, I announced on Discord we're starting a little late today because I did a pretty intense first time workout with a jump rope that wasn't just jump roping, it was like 30 seconds of jump rope and then like jumping jacks, 30 seconds and then push-ups, 30 seconds of squats, 30 seconds and oh my lord. So it's a pajama stream today because I'm like waddling everywhere now. I made the mistake of not stretching afterward. We have a foam roller and everything and I just like collapsed in my computer chair. I'm like, I can't move. And that was a mistake. So now I'm like kind of walking funny. And my fuzzy pants feel very comfortable right now. So we're going to be doing a pajama stream. I hope you're okay with it because I sure am. In fact, it's not that I'm okay with it. It's that I don't care right now. The noodle limbs. Oh my god, I was shaking so much. I tried to, like, I took a shower and I had my little shower cap, the dryer towel thing on, and I was just sitting there and I'm like, this is fine. I can just stay here for a week now. And then I had to get up to take off the hair towel thing and I was so shaky and I was just like, oh lord, I'm not gonna be able to stand for too much longer. I needed to eat something. I was drinking water. I tried. I was keeping up with it. I think I'm okay, but I kind of have a little bit of a headache right now too, which that's partly my fault. It was also out in the sun. It was really hot. Anyway, we're doing this. We're gonna finish this dress, cause it's almost there. And I had it pinned. Here. There it is. So, a couple things we have to finish on this dress. I know you can't see me right now because I'm off camera. I'm trying to get this off the dress form. We need buttonholes. I should still have my marks on here for my buttons that are supposed to go. I do. Look how clever that is. So, a button will go here and a button will go here. So it does kind of go in the middle-ish, sort of. But the first thing we have to do is, oh my lord, what's going on? Aw, Cree, she's here and liking my stream. Cree Dupree is an awesome cosplayer, local cosplayer, and she does amazing work. Like, I am in awe of her skill at cosplay. I never really got into cosplay, really. I mean, I do it as commissions and stuff, but the things that some people do, like Cree, building not just the costume with the sewing, but also the props and wings and the makeup, and then putting it all on and making this incredible character. Just the whole thing it's like a theater costume major masterclass sort of level of work and detail. It's quite incredible. So that's what she does. She's local. She's a friend of ours. She's actually in our D&D group. So I just thought I would tout her skills a little bit because they are worth bragging about, I feel. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna finish closing this up. And I should have my, let's see, if I change it to my industrial right now, is it gonna work? Hey, it does! Special! Alright, so we're gonna close up this side seam, and we're gonna finish this dress, you guys. Even if it kills me. Eh. Okay. All these pins over here. Oh hey look, my snips! I actually remembered them. So before we end up finishing this inside seam with the lining, we need to do it on the other side too. So I'm gonna bring it to the right sides together so that I could sew the shell to the back bodice. I'm gonna pull out the lining so it's not getting in the way. I know that it's going to fit right at that seam. The fold of our back bodice is going to be snug right up against that seam. If you feel you need to, go ahead and use a pin to keep that in place. And I've got it set on 3, my stitch length. Make sure this is gonna line up properly. Let's see, oh, here. Perfect. Let me know if there's any sound issues with my microphone. It's sometimes been doing this really weird thing where it crackles and I'm not sure why. I might just be laughing into it really loud. Alright. The 5/8 seam allowance. I really hate that it's so wide, but that's what it is. So, lucky for me, over here, my waist seam actually matches the length of the front and the back bodice, which that means that I was paying attention to my seam allowance. So if you ever have an issue where it's not lining up, it's probably a seam allowance problem. Okay, do I have my needle down though? No. Always make sure you have your needle down before you start futzing with the fabric down here. So I'm just trying to straighten out this edge a little bit with the elastic that's already in it. If you catch it, it's fine. It'll still work. This is a very wide seam allowance. Okay, so we get to that waist seam, right? Right around here. You can walk it if you need to. And then the rest of it is the skirt. And that lines up very nicely too. Very cool. Make sure it's not bunching underneath because you don't want any crazy things happening. You want to make sure it's all flat when you're sewing this. Oof. Keep hitting that microphone, I'm sorry. So now I've kind of tapered it to about 1/2 inch for the skirt, just because I want to try to keep some fullness. It's not really going to be an issue. There's a lot of skirt, so I think we're going to be okay. Okay, and I forgot to get my little chat here. Oh, wonderful. Sometimes I turn off the tunes because it might be distracting for some. Just let me know if it is. Yeah, I just play Pretzel Rocks. I think it's on the Happy or EDM channel. I like EDM. It's my jam. And Synthwave is another big favorite of mine. Alright, so now we've got some craziness here happening, right? There's all this open stuff. This is inside out. And we still have to close the lining. So let's do that. So we're gonna have to release the seam here. So one way we could do that, let me get my other scissors. I'm gonna try to determine a good spot for this. So what I'm gonna do is come up at an angle. There's like a little crossroads here where I went down, and then the seam for the waist is right here, so it's crossing, kind of making an X. So I'm going to come up at an angle and hit that just up to the corner, a little bit away from it, so that this can move, and then I can later butterfly this separately. Okay. I might have to do the same thing over on the other side, but we're gonna focus on this side. We just closed this side seam. So we want to bring over all this lining that we have. Try to get these shoulder straps in order here, just kind of bunch them up inside. So we're going to be concentrating on closing on the inside of the dress. We're going to be sewing just to the waist seam. And we even have a notch here that we can match it to. That sometimes might work. If not, you can just bring it down a little further, make sure that's all even, because we want to make sure that this is folding nicely on the inside. Okay. So at the top, we're going to kind of make it snug as it folds down over this inside seam allowance. If I'm not explaining this properly, or if you just need more help in understanding what's happening here, you just let me know. I am going to be sewing it just to the seam allowance. We have a 5/8 seam allowance on that side seam for the shell, so the lining is just going to go at about a 1/2 inch just on the inside of that seam allowance. Hello, Minty! Okay, my needle's down. I'm going to check everything, make sure it's good. I'm identifying where my waist seam is, and that's about as far as we're going to be sewing this lining to the side seam allowance. We're going to be finishing that waist seam for the lining a little bit the same way. Show you that too. So it's going to be right kind of up here. I'm going to do it just a little above it, and we're going to back tack that. They want you to hand sew this in the instructions. I think once you know how to do this, this makes your life easier, and you can apply this method to just about anything. I've got some the nice cleaning ladies that bought masks from me. They're just walking by the window. So here's one. We can do the other one the same way, and then we'll just flip it all inside out. And then you'll see that it has this really nice finish to it. So we do still need to release this bottom. So I'm going to come this way on the back part of the side of the waist. Let's see, I need to, because we have to have part of this going upward. Actually, I'm going to go on the front side. So I'm going to come from the front. My side seam is right here. Remember I released it yesterday because this needs to go this way. Well, now this part on the front, this is the waist seam. This needs to flip up. And it's not going to do that if the back part of it is flipped down. So we need to be able to separate it carefully. So we have that same intersection. We have that waist seam right here, and then the side seam here. So going up to that corner, we're going to release the front portion of our waist seam. Just a little, try not to hit the seam itself, just up close enough so that it flips up nicely, and then this can remain facing downward. So that's going to be for later. need to release this on the front side. There. And you'll actually see things like this, like these diagonal snips around places. If you turn a formal dress inside out, they do this all the time because they need to be able to access things and separate things without losing the integrity of the stitching itself. Okay, so this time we want to make sure we're starting again from the top to keep our direction of sewing consistent. So it means that the lining part is going to be below. We're going to be sewing just on that inside of the original side seam stitching. That's going to be at about 1/2 inch because our side seams are 5/8. Okay, and then I'm going to show you what this looks like. So we're going to need to do something with this, which I think it should just fold nicely. This is one of those instances where we could probably fold the corner. We fold it down, and then we overlap it with another fold perpendicular. And that should finish that corner nicely when we flip it out. So it's kind of what it looks like right now, and then we're just going to turn this inside out. Inside out, because it's on the inside. Closing the dress side by sewing the fashion fabric and lining together? Yeah. Also, you didn't stop the music. I don't know if you wanted to stop it or not. Nerdy Bird mentioned that she likes the tunes, so I just kept them going, but I can turn it off. Sometimes it's fun, but sometimes it might be distracting. Here we go. I have to have it playing, though, so that my headset doesn't think that nothing is happening. So here, now you have this. This is the inside of the dress, and you have this pretty nice finish. I'm just going to make sure that this is going to be folded properly, so it's not all bunched up. So let's see, this wants to go this way. This wants to go this way, and I'm going to pinch that. Try to... Ugh. Okay, that's not bad. So this side actually looks pretty good. The other side's okay too. Alright. So now we have the side seam cleaned up on the inside without hand sewing. So now we gotta do this bottom hem of the lining to the waist seam. Now you can hand stitch this instead. If this is just a little too much, you can certainly do it this way. So what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that let's see, I think I want to have this right side out. Oh, did you see that we've kind of decided this is more of a décolleté dress? It would work well with décolleté. It's super bright colors and you could just like go completely over the top with accessories. Let's see if this will work. So usually when I do inside pieces like this, I want to make sure that I can have control. Let me see what the best position is for this. Might be with the skirt flipped up. I've got the circle of the interior going this way. I might have to press this so that it stays. I'm trying to discover what is the best way. This is the first time I'm doing this pattern. I never have to really deal with attaching the lining to the waist seam like this. So I'm trying to figure out the best way for you guys here. Yeah, I might have to do... Okay, I'm kind of coming off camera here, so you can't really see it. Let me go to the table, and we'll see if we can, No, there's no skirt lining in this pattern. I know. It's kind of... Oh, we're just doing it like it says, so... It would be easier with a skirt lining, I think. But then again, if you had a skirt lining, you'd have to do this differently too. Okay, so I am going to flip this up, make sure that we have the seam of the front waist going upward. I guess while we're at it, we can open up these sides. Question, is the bottom of your shirring panel where it meets the skirt just out there and raw? It is, because that's how it says in the instructions. I don't know if they're still up. I think it is. But when we were doing, well, when we were doing the, which one? Well, the Lolita, I'm sorry, the Lolita, obviously, it is Lolita, but the unicorn jump skirt, I show you that method of how to finish when you have a full lining. And basically it takes the back bodice and skirt being sewn together, and the front bodice and skirt being sewn together, but they're not sewn up on the sides, so they're separate pieces. And on the back bodice, before you put in all that channeling, what you do is you roll up your skirt for your lining, you roll up your skirt for your shell, you stuff it all in there in like nice little rolls, and then you meet that waist seam and you finish that first. Turn that inside out, and then you do all of your channels. And that's how you have that nice finish where it's not raw like this, it's hidden on the inside. So yeah, if you wanted to see that, it's on the it's on YouTube. It's the time-lapse tutorial of the unicorn jump skirt that I made. Can't figure out how to flip the dress so I could sew the lining and the bodice seam together. Let me show you before I end up closing this bottom part. Here, first I need to press this. And then I'll do a close-up for you so I can show you exactly how it works. I mean, they do recommend just hand sewing it too, because I don't think a lot of people would think to do it the way I did it. But I do want to just see if an advanced technique takes with you guys. Once you learn it, I think it's easier, but maybe I'm a little biased, and I have to keep that in mind. Of course! Okay. Alright. Yeah, I'll just do this first. Okay, so close-up time. do some close-up time. Here we go. Alrighty. So when we had this all loosey-goosey, like these were not closed in. This was all raw. This was all raw on the lining, right? So what I did is you flip this into the interior. See? See what I'm doing? Over here. And you just do one side at a time. You make sure that that lining is going to be sewn onto the side seam allowance only. So 5/8 of an inch in is your actual side seam, and then just a little inside of that at about a 1/2 inch is where you're going to sew your lining. And so once it's sewn, you want to kind of make sure that this is folded. There. And then it looks like that. If you need help starting it, flipping this raw edge toward the inside the way it's supposed to look, and then going in here and pinching it, then you can flip this inside out, and that gives you the correct orientation of how to line this up. Are you not sewing the lining to the skirt? Yes, that's what I was actually pressing this upward first, because I need to see if I can figure this out, for one. So this is going to look like this. I want to make sure that this is nice and tight. You know what I hadn't done yet? I hadn't pressed this top part. So that needs to happen. I still have I'm using my sleeve board for this. Yeah, that understitching gives you that 1/16 of an inch of the shell folded into the inside of the dress, and that's really the nicest finish that you can go for. So you don't really want your lining to be sticking out where it can be seen while you're wearing it. Okay. Bye. So I guess this is kind of like a beginner tutorial with some advanced techniques. You know, for funsies, for science. Okay, this one it kind of got away from me, so I didn't give it enough room to compensate for the bulge of that fold. But it should still be fine. It's just the lining. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Beginner plus. Yeah, I mean, isn't that kind of intermediate at that point? Oh my gosh, Kal-El, why are you so vocal? Yeah, it's just your job. It's just what you do. So this trying to figure out if it's going to be easier to do this from side to side and end in the middle. Because my idea is something similar to what we did to the side here. I kind of want to just start it like this. Because that's the way it should be folding. Make sure that this is all the way down. It's going to be very bulky. I think I want to cut off that little triangle over here. Can Carol figure this out? So, one of these tricks that I learned is if you can't figure out the orientation that everything is supposed to be lined up as, you can put a pin there, sort of turn it inside out. Here. I'm pinching it. Okay, so something like this. It's gonna be a little squirrely. Again, you can hand sew this instead. I'm just gonna sew a little section here. Try to make sure that this is actually long enough, because we did trim off about a 1/4 inch. Here. And you take this in small sections. So let's see, the center is here. We need to keep a small section of this open so we could still flip this out. It's not going to fit perfectly completely all the way. You have to take it in small bits. So you would start here and then adjust until you reach the point where you want to keep it open. So I might want to keep it open up to, how many inches is that? Maybe like 6 inches from the side seam towards the center. So we're gonna go, I was admiring my work and then realized, oh wait, what? I really wanted to sew today, but just to do something, but it's completely impossible with the heat. It is hot outside, even here. Dang, I closed the side without attaching the other side of the shirring panel. That's okay. You can do that. You can still work with it. Yeah, we're at the industrial. Okay. Alright. Let's take it one step at a time. This is the squirrely bit. If this is too much, don't worry about it. Just do an invisible stitch or a slip stitch to close it along the bottom while folding. I'm just gonna try to find, hello, where's my thread? Where my pin starts. I'm gonna put my needle down. Just a chunk at a time. And this needs to be above, this raw edge needs to be above my waist seam by about a 1/4 inch because of what we trimmed off when I did my overlock. You may not have that problem if you didn't overlock it, because it just overlocks and trims at the same time. Okay. Just to the seam allowance. Just adjust it as you go. This probably is a little more advanced now that I think about it, because if I'm having this much trouble, gosh, I couldn't imagine. Just hand sew it, guys. It's totally fine. Or just line the whole thing, and you would have your lining skirt attached to your lining bodice, and then you wouldn't have this problem. Ugh, I sneezed! Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Okay, actually not bad. Like this. You see that? That's about how far I went. The rest of it is still going to have to be hand stitched closed, but we can have that nice clean finish for the majority of it. Just want to make sure that I have it marked where it needs to go. And it needs to go a little bit more than that. It So it's going to be all kinds of bunched up. You're going to have a lot of stuff to deal with. But since you're just sewing it to the seam allowance, you should be okay. Just make sure you got these aligned. That's as far as I can go. Okay. Might be as far as I can go, which is fine. Hand stitching never killed anybody. Let's get some of this extra stuff out. Okay. So it's kind of all like totally inside out. And then we have about this much left to close. Now, if you have this problem, I have seen this done on brand dresses too. You can pleat it a little bit at this seam. Just go a little bit deeper. supposed to go the other way. It's gonna be a little bit bigger. I like hand stitching. I'm hand sewing an 18th century shift at the moment. Actually, 2 at a time. Wow. Hey, Rotten Ralph! Thanks for leaving those comments on my videos on YouTube. That means the world to me, actually. I don't get too many comments on there. Can I, though? Do I have to undo some of this just to make it work? So I'm just widening the seam allowance for the lining. Kind of pleating it a little bit. Trying to. It worked on the other side. There we go. So if you have to, ease it in. That is something that is absolutely done. I need a bigger one, I think, or something. Okay, Minty! Whew. So this will get cleaned up once it's pressed again. This is gonna just get hidden like this. It's been really interesting to see you put in this lining. Oh good, I'm glad you think it's interesting. I notice you don't have too many, but I'm enjoying your content. Oh, thank you! Oh, you're the one doing an 18th century shift. That's amazing! I'm so done with summer. Oh man. Yeah, I don't blame you at all. I'm so glad that you found my channel, Rotten Ralph. Oh, sorry I keep knocking this thing. Ah. Hello. Alright, so we mostly sewed the sides, so I'm just going to do a little slip stitch to the inside here. And remember, it's got all this shirring in the back, so any tightness here should be fine. It's not going to be too problematic, and we do have a little bit of extra because of where we sewed our side seam for the lining. So let me get my length appropriate TARDIS. Where's my TARDIS? There's my TARDIS. It's always disappearing on me. Oh, it's rainy. Oh, I love rain. I love it. We get such good rain out here, but it's been a little while since we've actually had like a decent, rain. I might go ahead and just use my little one here. Aww. We are happy to have you. Alright, I'm gonna get my thread. Wow, I'm really running out of this yellow. I must have used something, must have made a lot of stuff in yellow. Alright. Slip stitch. You guys know how to do a slip stitch, don't you? Do you? This sort of tutorial would benefit from an even closer camera, but we're going to do our best here. So I am going to do my same kind of knotting. So I have my adjustable tail and my long tail. On the long tail, we put our end of our needle under that tail with the short end this way. Pinch that on the needle, close it, cross it, then do kind of like a French knot move right here. Hold on to that and pull it through without... Well, that didn't work out. There goes that. Really? Let's try that again. I mean, you've seen me do this, so... Let's try again. There we go. That's the way. No, come on. There it is. Okay, clean knot. Cut off the excess. So now you have a nice, clean little knot. Okay, slip stitch. So we're starting, this is where, we're just going to be sewing it to the seam allowance on the waist. And I'm going to start it here at the ridge, pull that through, and just catch on the inside of the stitching. You put your needle in right across from where you came out on the top side, and you just make little stitches. Do the same thing, kind of a ladder, sort of. I guess, is this a ladder stitch? I've always known this as a invisible stitch, or a slip stitch. This is a slip stitch. I mean, I suppose you could just whip stitch it too, if that's what you know how to do, but knowing all these different hand stitches really elevates your work. Bernadette Banner has some great videos on hand stitches, and all of them are super useful for making not just historical garments, but just finely finished garments in general. So check out her channel on stitches, basic stitches, I think. Try to make it a little smaller here. I want to be able to catch that pleating that I did. If you find that you can't pull your needle, having a set of flat nose pliers that are used for jewelers is really good for pulling that through. If it's too thick or if anytime you have an issue with pulling your needle, always keep some flat nose pliers in your toolbox. Basically, I'm inserting my needle right at the fold, going inward, right in the middle, and then across from that, try to be on the inside of the seam allowance so it's not going to show through. Okay, right here, probably for me. I'm trying to think if I have any accessories that might make this a whole ensemble as far as the Decora idea that we had. Like, I feel like it should have pretty fun accessories, but I don't know if I have enough for Decora. Because that's the one where they wear, like, not just bright colors, but a bunch of hair clips in their hair, and stickers, and gems on their faces, and all that stuff. Okay, I think this is pretty good. So I'm gonna hide this stitch. I'm just gonna go this way. And I'm gonna do a back stitch where I just came in and out. More. And then I'll knot it. We're good. Why did I just pick up my pliers? I don't know. Okay. So I can press that. So we need to do the hemming, which actually I was thinking I might be able to apply this to the hem, because that might be... I need to use this anyway. Needs to be used. Alright, I'll use my sleeve board and press those pleats that we made. Pick up iron. Ugh. Any questions so far, guys? Let's see, can I though? It's gonna kinda taper. There. It's so bright. Alright, so the only problem I foresee with putting this stuff all around the bottom hem is that this is gonna have to be ruffled. And I think the only way to ruffle a mesh lace like this... My eyes hurt! I'm sorry! I'm so sorry! I mean, it could just be left without a hem decoration, but at the same time, it's like, well, we can. I might have to use my ruffler for it. I need to add a buttonhole. I think we might just go with one button, and I'll just put it in the places that I marked, but I'm going to put it a little bit further towards the side seam. Because this mark that I put down on here was meant for the end where it's supposed to be sewn. Remember, in the instructions it says to sew this on instead of just add a button and put a buttonhole on this. What's wrong with you? So I'm just going to make sure that this is kind of moved over like a ½ inch. And I'll add a couple buttons there. Since we're doing hand sewing, this is happening. And I've got a bunch of just plain utilitarian white buttons. There's my waddling. Waddle, waddle, waddle. So let's see, we'll do a nice kind of large button. So I got that one. I think I have one more here, yeah. Alright. Oof. Large button. And hand sewing. Hooray. But this time we need a doubled thread. I'm actually using an embroidery needle. I think it's a size 9. It's a very small embroidery needle, but I use it because it's small, like very fine, and it has a long eye. It's perfect for sewing on buttons. Come back. Okay, so we're gonna do... So my mark is here. I'm just gonna move it over kind of right here. Downward below the elastic. I'm gonna start with my anchor. I don't have a knot, I'm just gonna catch this loop because I doubled the thread that I already had on there. I'm gonna backstitch on that, maybe a couple times. Don't lose my tail. That'd be great. Okay, so these are 4-hole buttonholes things. Do this. Do across from each other first. Straight. Okay, and then from here, we don't just knot it, we don't do anything, we bring this all the way through the center, the two little arches of the center. And then we're gonna pull it through, let's see, this way. Around one of the legs once. So halfway, second time, knot it. So this time we need a knot because I don't have the benefit of that loop. So I tried uploading yesterday's stream to YouTube and it's taking forever to process. Like I started it this morning and it's still at 95% processed. I'm like, God, guys, what's happening? So it's coming. I even made the thumbnail for it and everything. But it's taking forever. Buttons! Ow! Alright. Perfect! Alright, we got 2 buttons. We need to get the buttonholer ready. And that's my tiny machine. This guy. Which you don't get a really good angle of, and I apologize for that, but maybe one day I'll have another articulating arm for that camera so I can bring it down a little easier. Okay. So, I need this, I need this, I need these. Yeah, I think those are it. I need to take my walking foot off of here. Leave that on. So yeah, I use this guy for my buttonholer, and it actually has a place to put your button that you're using so that it does your buttonhole to the specifications of your button. So I'll just get another one of those. Use this one. So like this, I just load it up with the button. And it does it to this size. Okay. I need this guy. And power! Aha! I'll use this yellow. One-step buttonholes. They are a blessing. Alright, so my buttonhole number is 35 that I like to use. I'm just going to try to do it kind of right at the middle and about maybe a centimeter or so from the edge. And I like to make my stitch length a little bit smaller so that it's tighter. This should be a pretty okay setting. Let's try this. I've never tried using my buttonholers. Too scary. Don't be scared. You gotta try it. Try it on something you don't care about first. it's super useful to learn it. Super, super. Unless your machine is a little bit more advanced. But if you have one like this, I don't even do anything. I put the little attachment on it, and I set it to the spot where it needs to go. There's like crosshairs on this thing, basically. I set it down. Look, no hands. It's not scary. It literally does it by itself. Except right now it kind of got caught, but that's because it's very heavy. After you get over your fear, you will learn to love buttonholes. It will empower you. See? Buttonholes. It's not scary. Don't be scared. See? Got a little bit caught right here. Just because there's a lot of bulk here, so it had a hard time just grabbing it. So I just kept it moving a little bit gently. This one came out better. But we just need to open those now. You know what's really scary? The ruffle attachment. That's scary. I still use it though. But it's so fiddly. Fiddly and fickle. There. I love shirring for comfort. Yeah. Shirring is comfortable. Alright. So now this goes here. Look, it even fits. This one goes here. Alright, let's check it out. I'm gonna have to save the hem for something else. I don't know if I can stand up anymore. Today was brutal. Eh. 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 Oh yeah. It collapsed. Now the other thing I wanted to mention too, this has no waist ties. There are no waist ties on this. Yet another Lolita element that is missing. Oh dear lord. This bodice is so long. Okay, so I have an idea. These shoulder straps are so long and I shortened them. I made them shorter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cross them over here in the back. Better. Skirt needs to be ironed. But other than that, looks pretty okay. I'm terrified of buttonholes. I did one by hand. Oh, I did one by hand. That's the only one I've ever done. I have a tool called a buttonhole chisel to open them. I've seen that tool. It's a cool tool. I just use my seam ripper because I don't want to buy another tool. Working on alleviating my worry. Long time on the feet sewing. It does need waist ties. Yeah, it needs something, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that for this dress. You could add a ribbon if you just want something to tie it and do some, remember those swing tacks that I showed you? And there is a saved clip of how to do swing tacks. You do swing tacks as your little belt loops here and get some, 2-inch or 1.5-inch ribbon. You can bring that around. In fact, I think this is 1.5. No, it's not even. But it's what I got. Let's see what it looks like. I'm curious. This is just the cheapo ribbon you get at Walmart, because I was just getting stuff. Be cute with something. Ah. Hello. Why are you doing this? I mean, it's something. But yeah, you can make little belt loops by doing a little swing tack on the sides. I've done that many times. Because that would keep this down where it needs to sit. Does look a little better with something around the waist, right? Yeah, just to break up the pattern, exactly. Add sheer pink waist ties. I hate you. No. Why would you do that to me? Why? Why are you so mean to me? Crossbacked is purty. Yeah. It's cute. It needs like a thing. I was gonna do a bow. Oh yeah, laugh it up. Making fun of me. I mean, again, I'm not married to this ribbon. So just kind of playing with. Come on. Like something like this. Yeah. Aha. Makes it more K. No, I was trying to catch that. That's kind of better. It's less empty over here. I mean, it still is what it is, but it does add some balance to it all. Originally, this pattern had you put this kind of bow on both of the tops of the shoulder straps, and I think one in the middle made of ribbon that was like a 2-inch ribbon. Bow makes it cute. Yeah, I like the bow. Oh, hey, Malice! Malice in Wonderland! Hello! Hello, hello. Can I do this? I always try to do this and I fail. Ah, I did it! Malice in Wonderland, everybody! She is an awesome streamer as well, and she's part of our little sewing community, sewing crafting community here on Twitch, so check her out, and thank you so much for visiting! I appreciate that very, very much. Yeah, this is our ridiculous Decorake dress. I've decided to just call it Decorake. It's not Lolita, even though the pattern itself says Lolita. Yes! Hooray! It worked! Also, you guys, so I am probably... I'll be doing, like, the finishing on the hem off camera because doing this ruffling, this is a soft mesh embroidered lace trim. And ruffling this is going to take a lot of swearing, so I'm probably not going to do that on camera. And I'll just apply this to probably the bottom hem. I thought that would be, I mean, if we're going over the top, go all the way, right? So we're doing that. Also, I wanted to mention, you guys, that I wanted to give away this pattern. I have this pattern, so if you want this pattern, this is the smaller size range, the 4 to 12. But it is really forgiving, so if you want a copy of this pattern, let me know. Hello, Minty! There are 9 of you in the chat right now, so I'm going to start a giveaway. I'm going to hang out for another 10 minutes, and 10 minutes is what you get before we find out who wins this pattern. Let me start this. Who wants the pattern? Let's see. Where is my giveaways? Oh, look, there it is. Everybody owns it? Alright, if everybody owns it, I'm not going to do a giveaway. I'll probably do a giveaway on Discord if that's the case. There's so many that own it already, so I get it. It's not very precious. It's just that I happen to have an extra copy, and I'm not going to be using it, so there it is. I'll offer it onto Discord and see if anybody wants to get a copy of it for themselves. Yeah, good idea. I mean, yeah, if you want it. Meow! I know. Yeah, you want to say hi? You want to say hi? Oh, this cat. Alright. Are you in our Discord server? Rotten Ralph? Treats! It's treats time. It's treats time. Did you hear that? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Are you not entertained? Mwah. Oh, ridiculous goblin cat. Alright, you're gonna get treats. No tricks this time, just treats. Let's move this guy down. Hopefully you can see. Yes, you will get the satisfaction of the treats. Come on. He's like, grab! And he immediately misses it with his mouth. Falls. One more. That's it. Jesus. It wasn't me this time. Yes, definitely join my Discord if you haven't already, and I'll do the little giveaway there, so you guys have a chance of winning this Lolita pattern. It's a costume. It's a Lolita costume. Let's just be clear about that. But close enough. It taught people the basics of what they need to know, and also how to read a pattern. So, hands up! 2-hand grab! Alright. Wait a minute. So, Nerdy Burb and Rotten Ralph, do you guys want dibs on this pattern? I'm always getting blamed for the treats. Well, it's because you have like 1,000,000 channel points and you just try to get rid of them that way. Also, you like my cat. Who doesn't like my cat? He's ridiculous and adorable. Okay, so, alright, so far, Rotten Ralph is the one that probably wants a copy, but let me know. Hit me up on Discord, anybody, and I'm gonna go collapse over there. Because I don't know if I can feel my body right now. I still am like noodle arms. Alright, if that's the case. Yeah, so hit me up, Rotten Ralph. Looks like you get a copy of this pattern. Thank you guys so much for coming. I have an Otome book. I don't need more patterns. All right, well whatever. Whoever needs it, we'll figure it out. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much again for watching through this entire demo. I'll post pictures of the finished product on Discord and probably Facebook too, and on the blog, all those places. So I will let you guys go. Ah, you made it, but we're about to go, Sierra. Get some protein and stretch. Yeah, I had a little protein. So next week, remember, I'm not going to be streaming because I'm going to have to work on some editing that's long overdue for the strawberry chocolate jump skirt that we made. So that's still happening. So next weekend we're going to be off, and then we'll come back after that. Okay. Have a great afternoon and evening, everybody. Love you guys. See you later.